guys, what is going on? Welcome back to Late Checkout. So excited to have you here. This has been such a good time having actual rhythm and flow with my podcast because for those of you who are new here, I had quite the hell of a year and this podcast was definitely on pause for a long amount of time because it was very stop and go. We had a global move. I had my second kid. So it's been so nice to just get my mind fully back into work and just be able to share everything I love with you guys. It's such a passion of mine and it excites me. So I'm happy to have you here. If you are new here, my name is Laura Janella. This is my podcast, Late Checkout, where we talk about everything travel and wellness, intentional travel. I love talking about the intentionality behind traveling, the personal growth aspects of travel, places I've been, tips and tricks, and wellness. I love talking about wellness from a physical, mental, spiritual aspect, but really in the sense of like bringing this practical way of having wellness in our lives and holding it in our lives and making sure that we're having the conversations about the things that ground us back into self, that allow us to blossom into our fullest potential. It's so important to be sharing and talking to people about these things because our human journey relies so much on community. And if in our community we're having conversations like this, it's expanding all of us. So that is why we're here. Welcome. You can follow me on Instagram for Late Checkout or Laura Janella for my personal/business account. So this week, I'm going to talk about travel and wellness together. We are going to blend them together because this is literally why this brand was born. This is why my passion exists. Oh, God, this is going to be such a thesis for my brand and for everything to come, but it's truly at the heart, the reason why A, I love traveling so much, but B, I want you to fall in love with travel in this way because it is so important. Travel and wellness are symbiotic, and I stand on that. And today I am going to share with you very particular details and understandings as how and why people say travel is therapy. Because you hear the people like, hashtagging travel is therapy. But do you actually understand how travel is therapy? And not just from like an unplugging, recharging, getting away from it all type of way, which is I want to make very clear that's very important, but giving yourself the ability to understand your mind and your spirit and how you're moving through traveling and how it actually reflects back as therapy. This is so important. My hot take, and guys, I've done years of therapy. I love therapy. One singular trip can do more for your nervous system than months of therapy can do for your mind. That's my hot take. I'm just saying. And I'm going to get into it and I'm going to prove it to you. And you're going to really have such a great understanding by the end of the episode because there's 4 main ways I'm going to get into this. And each of them are equally as important. They're not in a priority list. But before we get into the meat and potatoes, I want to remind us all how privileged we are in this society to be able to travel anywhere around the world that we want. I fear that there is this desensitization around traveling because everybody does it, because we're able to do it, right? Privileged people are able to do it. And because you hear about it so much, you see everyone on Instagram and the websites and the bloggers, everybody has been to Rome and done the things. Like there's this like desensitization around the trips that we take. In some aspects, people will be like, oh yeah, I've already been there. Or other aspects, people are like, oh, you only go to the Caribbean. And I really hate that sense of belittling anyone's trip because I am telling you right now, I stand on this. I don't care how many people have been to Rome, Rio, Hong Kong, Paris. Your experience, your unique individual experience, because you are one of one, If you are sitting on the same lines as those other people and eating at the same restaurants and doing the same exact itinerary, your trip is uniquely different to the next person. No two trips are exactly the same. The person sitting in the driver's seat of that trip is experiencing something so different from the person next to them. And that is just on fact. Having that intentionality and understanding that your trip is special no matter what anyone else says, because there's this desensitized feeling around travel, allows you to move through your trip with so much more integrity. And also, it makes you realize that you don't need to check all of the boxes. You don't need to go to all the restaurants TikTok told you to go to. Like, travel has become this to-do list, and it really should be a full experience where you're understanding it from a physical level, a mental level, and a spiritual level truly when you're on the trip. I want to bring the magic back to that. Also, just the sheer magic that we get to go on any plane and go to any place around the world. I mean, think about it. 100 years ago, our ancestors were not doing this at all. Like, what a time to be alive. Even 30 years ago, when you think about it, it really was just the brave and maybe for work and maybe some people traveling. It was not the same. Like, today's world, every and any airline are shipping millions of people on a daily basis to go where they want to go. So let's not forget the magic. It's literal magic to be able to go up in the air and go anywhere you want at all on any given day. It's beautiful. So let's bring back that gratitude for the experience itself, because it really is just a stroke of luck that you are alive right now to be able to have that to begin with. So comparing your trips to other people's, belittling other trip takers, it's not cute. It's not cute, people. So let's get into the meat and potatoes of this episode. I'm going to break it down into 4 ways travel is truly therapy and how it works with our nervous system, with our parts work, seeing ourselves as expanders, the ability to integrate our experiences live while we're away. These are all things that the other night when I was prepping for this episode, I feel like I'm channeling, like, asking the light, asking God, how is the best way that I can give this information out in a way that is going to land so people can feel invigorated and inspired by the fact that every time they get on a plane to go away, they are going to meet a part of themselves that they've never met before. So I had some notes. I went off. This really could be an essay, but I like to gab, so I'm here. I shared on an episode a few episodes ago about the 5 places that I've been to where I had spiritual experiences. And on that episode, I told you guys about when I was in my mid-20s and I took my first adult trip. I realized when I came back that as much as I went away to get away from work, to recharge my batteries, to just lay on the beach and just have drinks and enjoy myself and unplug, I came home with a very, very big revelation that traveling gave me the ability to see my life from this bird's eye view, to reflect on aspects of my life that I would never have reflected on when I was home. And I started seeing it as this personal growth tool, like a tool that I knew I could use to better understand myself whenever I needed that wake up call. And now, many years later, I'm 38, I've done so many therapies. I use so many modalities to better understand myself, to peel my layers back, to reprogram trauma, meet my inner children. I've done shadow work to be magnetic, and I reference all this stuff a lot on this podcast because it is an integral part of my adult life, is my self-discovery journey. And even all of the things that I do and continue to do within the mental health space and spiritual space, I always go back to traveling being my number one personal growth tool. It is the tool that I always go back to when I need like instant understanding on an area of my life. It is this really special tool in my toolbox that supersedes all of the other tools that I have. Even though I love all the other tools and I use them daily and I use them regularly and they're so important, I mean, I guess they're all just equally important in their different aspects, but I tend to see travel as that like, oh, this is my gold. This is my gold in my toolbox. Like I know I'm going to get something, so like let's go. But there's a way that I can kind of compare and articulate to you guys how travel accelerates certain aspects of therapy. And this is where the important stuff comes in, okay? First, this is first on my list. Travel forces us to work on self-trust immediately. It activates our nervous system as soon as we're in this new environment, as soon as we're in this new place. Our nervous system is in us to help us survive, to stay alive. It activates our joy, our peace, our anxiety, our frustrations, our depression, literally any behavior, feeling you've ever felt is because of your nervous system. And when your nervous system at home is feeling safe and knows your place and knows the structure of your day and the feelings we're going to get when we see certain people, when we travel and we go somewhere else, we are giving our nervous system this brand new page to work on. And now it needs to calibrate around this new environment. It has to understand a new level of safety, a new home, right? If that's your hotel or your Airbnb, it's going to be sending you into different states of your nervous system as you're boarding the plane, as you're getting to the place, as you're going on your tours, as you're going to the new restaurants, meeting new people. Like all of it is just this new information that you're giving your nervous system to digest and to calibrate around. And all the while that's happening, you're building such a beautiful bond with yourself. Like you are building self-trust. I did an episode about this, how travel and wellness are symbiotic, and I say something very similar on that episode. But when you travel, you are building a self-trust muscle because you are literally showing yourself that you can meet all of your basic needs in a place where you may not even speak the language. You've never been there before. You are giving yourself shelter. You are finding yourself food. You are showing yourself that you can show up and pop up somewhere, anywhere in this world, and you will be okay. And I love that exercise. I love that we can show ourselves that. And it doesn't mean that you're traveling alone. It's also on group trips. It's truly this ebb and flow of knowing you can survive, and not just survive, but thrive in a new place. And your nervous system is calibrating around that. Even when you're on a trip and like the itinerary goes haywire, right? Like you overslept, so you miss your train and now you got to buy new train tickets, or you missed a tour because there was traffic, or you missed your flight. Like so much adversity can happen while we're away on a trip. Our nervous systems are helping us get through that, to decision make, to then build the self-trust that we know we can get through any situation. It doesn't matter where we are in the world. And I think that's fucking awesome. But this is nervous system work, people, in such a short, compressed amount of time. And I effing love that. The second thing is that travel introduces you to the expander in you. Now, I love the word expander because it comes, for me, from the to be magnetic world. That is one of their vocabulary terms to explain somebody who inspires you. Somebody who inspires you with anything in their life. It could be the way they walk into a room, their energy, the relationships that they hold, the career that they have, the way that they speak, the way they put their makeup on, whatever it is. An expander is somebody you are inspired by in some way or some form. And while we travel, there is this gorgeous opportunity to see ourselves as an expander. And I'm going to explain. When we are in a new setting, there is something within us that is activated that is typically dormant when we are at home. We are open to information and living in a completely different way because you are seeing life being lived in a way you've never seen it lived before. It's a version of life that you are first getting to know and to understand, right? Whether that be through the culture, the food, the art, the fashion, the people, the flowers, the nature, like literally everything around you that you're taking in is expanding your ability to take information in and to have the information, to have this experience, to be living this experience. So you are quite literally expanding your mind, expanding your psyche to a completely different aspect of life. And when we have experiences like this, when we're away, we can't unsee the things that we saw. You can't put back the knowledge that you acquired. You can't undo the experiences that you've experienced. No, like they are just now a part of you. You can't go back to what you were before this trip. Now this trip is a part of you. And it reminds me of this quote that it's my favorite quote ever, literally ever. I have it on my website. I had it on my blog back in 2019, and I truly love it so much down to the bone. This quote is, "A mind that is stretched by new experience can never go back to its old dimensions." I'm going to say that one more time. A mind that is stretched by new experience can never go back to its old dimensions. You can never go back once you've had an experience. That experience is now with you. Your nervous system felt it, your mind felt it, your heart felt it. It could be a good experience, a bad experience, but in this regard, when we're traveling, let's keep it positive. These experiences, they're expanding you at such a quick rate, a much quicker rate than you would be expanded at home. And you can't unsee it. You can't unfeel it. And these moments of expansion are now allowing you to move through your trip in a different way. You might feel lighter. You might be feeling a little bit more whimsical, a little less controlling, maybe a little more curious about wanting to bring home a different skirt and try on a different fashion. Whatever it is, there's a part of you that's being activated because of all of the expansion that's happening and the experiences that you're having around you. This trip is starting to mold you. You're starting to shape shift in this trip. And it could be evident or it could not be evident at all. It could be a moment that you try a food that you thought you would never try, right? Like maybe caviar or octopus or who knows, there's a million things I would never try, but on the right trip, I might. That version of Laura may just come out. And I appreciate that part of me because that part of me is dormant at home. She's not awake at home. It's special aspect of self that can go in the driver's seat and say, no, we're living this experience. We're doing it this way. And we tend to idolize and be inspired by people in our external world, whether it be in our community, our friends at work, or, role models on social media or Hollywood or authors of books, like whoever it is. We tend to find our inspiration from external places, which is important. But in this moment, you are able to take a second and be your own expander, be your own inspiration. Have a moment of love for the person that you're becoming on this trip. What's shifting? How are you moving differently? How are you feeling differently? Can you bring a part of that person back home with you? Can you make sure that when you're at home and you're in the hamster wheel of life, to get back in touch with that part of you, that whimsical part of you, whatever part that surfaces? Travel gives us this way of being able to fall in love with ourselves a little bit. And it can be the version that just shows up on the trip. But to take that pause and realize that you are expanding yourself literally, and then also you can look at yourself as an expander. Chef's kiss. It's beautiful. The third aspect of this episode, where travel is therapy, is travel surfaces parts of us. It brings out parts of us. And I'm using the word parts very particularly because I am referring to parts work in therapy, internal family systems. And for those of you who are not familiar, I'm just going to do a quick rundown of what that is. Parts work is a therapy that introduces you to the actual parts of you that live inside of you, that are aspects of self who were born through experiences, through decision making, through perceiving our environment as we were growing up, through trauma. It's actually tied back to our nervous system reacting to everything that we're experiencing and creating like protector parts or shadow parts or just parts of us that come up to defend us or help us to get through a moment where we need to feel safe again. And this happens every single day to us. All of our parts are always coming to the driver's seat and holding the wheel whenever it is that we need to get through something. The beautiful part of this work is that you get to introduce yourself to all the parts of you. You get to hold compassion for them because there's parts of us that we shame, that we hate, that we deem as bad qualities, but truly it's just aspects of self that need a little bit of integration, that need a little bit of TLC and need that extra hand holding so we can live and thrive with them instead of suppressing them and fighting them off. Now, when we travel, I find that when I go away, that there are parts of me that are dormant or even like limiting self-beliefs that I haven't noticed yet at home. Like it comes up out of nowhere, or there's a part that has a narrative that I didn't listen to correctly at home and I'm hearing it differently now. And this can come up in the deep conversations that you have when you are with a group of people or with your spouse or with a girlfriend, whatever. It can be the existential thoughts that come randomly down on you while you're traveling. It can also just be from overhearing a conversation that you're sitting next to while you're having dinner or when you're people watching and you're hearing people say something. Like there's this way that information is landing while we're away that activates a part of us to listen up in a different way than we would have listened up at home. When we are traveling, I've said this before, we are open. We're kind of this open portal to information, which then means not only to the fun and exciting aspects of our travel, but that also means to any type of information coming in. So you can hear somebody talk about something at the table next to you about a relationship that they're in. And because we're human, and we tend to take the information we're hearing and relate it to ourselves, it can click something in you about a relationship you have at home that you haven't thought about in that specific way. It like awakens a part of you that was on autopilot or just, wow, like I'm seeing this differently now because you're already open, you're already expanded, you're already nervous system shifting while you're away. This all isn't just by accident that you're having like aha moments when you're gone or you're having these deep conversations. It's because you're truly in this space and place to receive information and understand your feelings so differently than when you would be back in your same old environment. And even with just that thought, think about going to therapy and the amount of sessions you have to go through in order to get to those breakthrough aha moments. It takes sessions. It takes sessions. And I'm not saying it's not worth it. Therapy is 1000% worth it. I am just showing you and explaining how travel has this accelerated way to get you to that point quicker. And maybe it's not planned. Most of the time, it's not. Actually, 90% of the time, it's not planned. But it kind of just falls on your lap in this spiritual way where you're like, oh my God, I needed this information for my life. I needed this to be able to move forward with whatever decision I was going to make. Or wow, like something mind blowing that it takes just one person saying one thing. And because you were sitting a certain way from a certain perspective, it just fucking landed so differently for you. All right, we're getting into the last one, guys. How many minutes has this been? Oh my God, it's been so long. All right, we're getting into the last one. Travel can lead to integration in real time. This is by far the most important one. I should preface that at the beginning of the episode. This is where real time magic can genuinely happen for people when they are on a trip. Because think about it, at this point, your nervous system has shifted. We're calibrating around new environment. You are more open, you are expanded, you're moving differently, you're receiving information differently. And now it can lead to this point where major life shifts happen. This is why people come home from travel and end their relationship with their spouse or quit their job or have the conversation they've been dreading to have, but now they're ready to have it because of the new perspective. Maybe even this is when people don't go back home and like never go back and just live wherever it is that they're visiting. Like these are the moments where integration from all of that travel is therapy, you're seeing that is the conclusion. That is the change, the pivot, the timeline hop that happens so quickly, all because you took a trip. There is sacred information that comes to us when we are traveling. And maybe you don't see it. Maybe you're not intentional enough to really pick it up and grasp it. But when you have a reflection moment, even now, I can invite you like to take a moment here and ask yourself, what was the last trip that actually changed you? Where you felt a shift, where you thought about your life differently, where you came home and made a decision that you were putting off? Did you have an aha moment or a shift in the way you were thinking, an opening to a new level of thinking? And if there hasn't been one, like we can be honest here, literally no shame in that whatsoever. Because as I said in the beginning of the episode, there is such a desensitization about the privilege of travel that sometimes we just go, we check out, and then we come back and we don't have those moments of intentionality. So, really, even if you're not trying to be intentional about getting that information, it can just come to us. But sometimes we just go and we come back and nothing's really shifted. And that's okay. That does not mean anything is wrong with you. I'm going to tell you this right now. There's nothing wrong with you. But there may be a flaw in the way that your trip was designed. I remember, this is just a little something before I sign off here because I do have to go. There was a point in my 20s, guys. I was like reckless in my 20s. I was spending every dollar I had on traveling. Like I didn't give a fuck about saving. I just wanted to live my life. I wanted to juice life. Like I wanted to experience it. I wanted to get on every plane, go in every direction, find pieces of myself, find versions of myself. I wanted to live. And I remember in my 20s, people would be like, shouldn't you be like saving for a house or like for your kids' future college fund? Or, you know, adults would question me, or even like peers not understanding like why I wanted to travel so badly. And I get it because not everyone is cut from the same cloth and there's no wrong way to live life. But I remember having this like rebuttal where I'm like, well, I am investing. I'm investing in my soul. And I would say it's so snarky and like just, it was a rebuttal because I'm like, I'm investing in my soul. I'm like, calm down, back up. There's no problems here. I'm investing. And I think on some level, I was trying to rationalize my reckless travel spending. But when I looked back on 25, 26-year-old Laura saying that to people, I'm like, that bitch had it right. Like I was so right. Because now, 15 years later, I have so much ROI, like return on investment, is here. I invested in my soul. I found pieces of myself. I've had trips. I've been to 46 countries. I've been places and seen people and cultures and eaten foods and done so many things that I would never trade for. Like those experiences are crystallized into my soul, it crystallized into my spirit. And it's truly what's moved me into the direction of the work and business I'm building now. So like all of it is just like, yes, 25-year-old Laura had it right. I was investing in my soul. She knew. She somehow freaking knew. So here's something for you that you can take away from this episode that will be so fundamentally different for you in your next trip that you take. I want you to pour back into you with your next trip. Design it differently. Set an intention before you go. Say the intention out loud. Say it to yourself on the trip. Write it down in your notes app. Set an intention for whatever it is that you are seeking or wanting from yourself or from the trip. Just have some type of intention setting before you go. Leave space for the stuff that you can't plan. Don't worry if you don't get to all the hot places that TikTok is recommending for you, or the places that your friends went to that you feel like you'd be lesser than because they didn't go. No, go roam around, do something different, and leave space in your itinerary to have the quiet time. And not quiet time in your bedroom. Of course, you can do that, but quiet time to like roam the streets, have the extra long dinner, go out for a drink, like just almost soften your pace. And you'll see that those moments where you're not rushing around to do everything everyone else is doing, you are going to find better, intimate, more localized experiences that anyone could ever get doing a tour. And when you come home, integrate it. Integrate your intention. Think about what you've intention set. And when you get home, ask yourself, did I get what I wanted? Was I able to embody the person on this trip that could achieve the intention? What did I learn? What did I love? What takeaways do I have from the trip? Each trip is so special, guys. It doesn't matter if it's one day, 10 days, a month, or if it's 1 hour away that you're driving or your 15-hour flight away. Each trip is so unique and personal and special to you. And I am working on something really special that includes everything I just mentioned for the person who wants the full package of a custom travel experience. And I cannot wait to share about all of it. Guys, more to come on that soon. But that is all the time I have today. I gotta run. I'll see you later. Intentionally travel, people, okay? Love you guys. Ciao, ciao.